Hey everyone, have you ever stopped and wondered why we say, I enjoy playing, but then we say, I want to play? You know, it's one of those little grammar things that can trip up just about anyone. Well, today we're going to clear all that up. We're diving deep into gerunds versus infinitives. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's just kick things off with a super quick question. Picture this. You are starving, just really hungry. Which one of these sounds right to you? I want eating now, or I want to eat now. One of them is perfect, and the other is a really common mistake that we are about to fix for good. And the winner is, I want to eat now. Now, if you got that right, fantastic. If not, seriously, do not worry about it. By the time we're done here, you're not just going to know why that's the right answer, you're going to feel way more confident using these every single time. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to meet the main players in this little grammar game. Then, we'll check out these two exclusive groups I call the only clubs. These verbs are super picky. After that, we get to the really fascinating ones, the meaning changers, and we'll wrap it all up with the super chill, easygoing verbs. It's a pretty straightforward roadmap to mastering this whole thing. Okay, first things first, let's just get the basics down so we're all starting from the same place. What in the world even is a gerund, and what's an infinitive? So a gerund, you can think of it like a verb that's wearing a noun costume. You just take a regular verb, you slap ing on the end of it, and boom, it can now act as a thing, a noun in your sentence. You know, words like playing, reading, talking. So if you say, reading is my favorite hobby, reading isn't the action, it's the thing you're talking about. And then you have the infinitive. This one's easy. It's just the most basic, plain form of the verb, and it almost always has the little word to right in front of it. To play, to read, to talk. It's basically the version of the verb you'd find if you looked it up in a dictionary. All right, now this is where it starts to get fun. I like to imagine some verbs are members of these really exclusive clubs with strict dress codes. You know, they have very clear rules about who they'll hang out with. Some will only team up with gerunds, and others, well, they only pair with infinitives. So first up, let's step inside the gerund-only club. The verbs we're about to see are total snobs. They absolutely must be followed by another verb that ends in ing. There are no exceptions to the rule here. So take a look at this list. You've got enjoy, finish, avoid, suggest. I mean, these are words we use all the time, right? And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'd always say, I enjoy watching movies, not I enjoy to watch movies. See? That's the club rule in action. Here's a perfect example from our list. She finished reading the book. Since finished is a proud member of our gerund-only club, it has to be followed by reading. Saying she finished to read, it just sounds weird, right? And now you know exactly why. It's breaking the rules. All right, let's head across the street and get past the velvet rope for our second exclusive spot, the infinitive-only club. And I bet you can guess what the rule is here. These verbs have to be followed by the to plus verb form. And here's the guest list for this club. Want, need, decide, plan, hope. Hey, remember our first question? I want eating now sounded wrong because want is a card-carrying, lifelong member of this club. It always takes an infinitive. And here we go, another great example. They agreed to help us. The verb agree is on our list, which means it has to be followed by the infinitive, to help. It's actually that simple. The real trick is just getting familiar with which verb belongs to which club. Okay, we've dealt with the stripped clubs. Now we get to what I think is the most interesting part, the verbs that can actually take both a gerund and an infinitive. But, and this is a big but, the entire meaning of the sentence changes depending on which one you pick. I call them the grammar chameleons. So let's start with the verb remember. If you use remember plus a gerund, that ing form, you're talking about a memory, something that happened in the past. But if you use it with an infinitive, that to form, you're talking about a job you have to do, a responsibility. Totally different meanings. So for instance, if I say, I remember meeting you last year, my brain is going back in time. It's pulling up a memory of an event that already happened. The meeting is in the past, and I'm recalling it now. But check this out. If I say, remember to lock the door, I'm not talking about a memory at all. I'm talking about a future task, something you need to do. The door hasn't been locked yet. See? It's a completely different idea, and the only thing that changed was one little word. Okay, next up is stop, another really powerful meaning changer.
When you use stop with a gerund, it means you quit that thing entirely. You stopped doing it. But when you use it with an infinitive, it means you paused what you were doing so that you could do something else.
He stopped smoking. This tells a little story, right? It means he quit the habit. The action that he put an end to was the smoking itself. He's a non-smoker now.
Now look at this one. He stopped to smoke. This is a totally different scenario. Maybe he was walking home, and he paused his walk. For what reason? In order to have a cigarette. So in this case, he stopped one action just to start the smoking. The meaning is literally the opposite of the last side.
Phew. Okay. After those tricky meaning changers, let's finish up with something much, much easier. This is our last group, the laid-back, totally chill, easygoing verbs. They are happy to hang out with a gerund or an infinitive, and the meaning pretty much stays the same.
Verbs like, love, hate, and start, they're all in this group. You can say, I like to read, or you can say, I like reading. And honestly, the meaning is basically the same. It's kind of nice to have a simple one at the end, isn't it?
So let's wrap this all up in a neat little package. You've got your gerund-only verbs, like finish, that always take the ing form. You've got your infinitive-only verbs, like want, that always take the to form. Then you have those tricky meaning changers, like stop, where you really got to pay attention to the context. And finally, the easygoing verbs, like, where either one works just fine. You can think of this as your new cheat sheet. And there you have it, our deep dive into gerunds and infinitives. Really, the big takeaway is that the first verb is the boss. It's the one that calls the shots on what comes next. So now that you've got these 4 categories down, what are you going to try to master next? Thanks so much for joining me.